Good afternoon, everyone. So really honored to be here. And today's topic is remember these things when serving Chinese guests. This is a very big topic. So when Yana gave the job to me, so I felt really honored, but also big responsibility to talk about it. This topic can talk the whole day, even whole week. So, but I introduce myself. My name is Xing Liu. I'm working in Luke for many years. That's a part-time job, and I've been always involved in tourism. So I'm an authorized tourist guide in Helsinki, and also I'm a mentor and evaluator for Haaghelia for the Chinese language guide. So I know a lot of guys, and also a lot of Helsinki guys coming to Rovaniemi to be in Lapland guide. Probably some of you already knew them quite a lot. Especially last year is a booming year for the tourist guide. Today I'm talking about a few things. Please feel free to interrupt me. And I hope this is just a kind of a discussion, free discussion, instead of I give a presentation and then you listen and you go away. So it's kind of interaction talking. So I would like to ask you some questions, and you can answer, and you can ask my question, and I hope I can answer some of your questions. So here I talk a little bit of facts, and then I give some reasons why Chinese are here in Lapland, and who are they, how they come here, and how the whole travel goes, and what they are expecting from Lapland. And then about the Finnish food, what the Chinese normally like Finnish food about, what they dislike the most. And then also some things as I can pick up, or from my point of view, from some of the guys' point of view, I gather some of their opinions, some things that bear in your mind when you're serving food for Chinese. And then when these tourists going back home from Lapland, they will remember some things. And also there could be good messengers for you, as a Lapland messengers, and also for the next step for the food exporting. And also the further suggestions for the Lapland, for Rovaniemi, or even for Finland, and related to the tourism and also the food. And facts, of course, has been Terhi has already introduced, and this Chinese tourism has been booming. And not only for Finland, but also in general speaking, outbound tourism has been exploding in China, reaching 120 million times, record high. So still, it's increasing for double-digit growth for the next 10 years. This numbers is it's really exploding, and everybody know that the tourism is one of the area in China is going to grow for really long time. And group travelers still nowadays accounting for the most. And there are so many reasons for that. One of the biggest reasons is that most of Chinese still don't speak English that well. And of course, individual travelers, for example, these feed travelers and small groups are growing rapidly. And because of the digitalization development and also the younger generation, their language barrier is not big anymore. They speak a rather good English. So they like to travel to world, and then westernization. And so this group of people is growing as well. And the Chinese now, and is the fifth largest nationality among the foreign visitors in Finland in 2016. So during the last 10 years, visit Lapland, all these tourism participants has been doing an excellent job to market Finland as a traveling destination for Chinese. And also I have to mention Finnair has done extremely good work for marketing the Finnair to Chinese market. Now the Finnair has been open to Chinese cities like Beijing, Shanghai, Xi'an, Chongqing, Guangzhou, Hong Kong. Now they're negotiating with Shanghai, and they're also negotiating with Nanjing. So many cities. So especially during the summertime, every day you can see a lot of Chinese coming from China, from different cities. And China is like a Europe. So we're talking about Chinese. Chinese are like a Europeans. You're in northern part of China, southern part of China, east part of China, northeast and west side, middle. They are totally different geographically and also demographically. So they are a very different group of people. So Lapland, of course, everybody here, you know that last year and also this winter, last winter has been a kind of a Chinese tourism zone, and everywhere is a Chinese, and supermarkets are full of Chinese, Santa Claus village full of Chinese, and full of Chinese tourists. So, and Lapland, as I said, a record double rise, and also expecting more commerce for the next 2 years at least. One of the reasons, of course, because of Ali trip. So owned by Alibaba. So alone promised 50,000 visitors to Finland in 2017, and it's going to as many as 6 to 5 million visitors, primarily via Helsinki to other European countries. So then the other very important thing, the fact is China is the most generous tourist. Talking about generous, the consumption per capita per day is the highest in Finland. And think about, in general speaking, 379 euro per day, Chinese consumption, and then versus Russian 144 in 2016. So why they are in Lapland especially? One of the main reasons because of Santa Claus. And Santa Claus village has been a very successful marketing in China. And of course, the aurora means polar light, and also the other unique nature like a space, pureness, a lake, and ice and snow. All these features coming together as a package and become a very, very attractive places for the Chinese tourists. Of course, this is because of many years of marketing efforts from Visit Finland and Visit Lapland, and the travel agencies and tourism industry participant in Lapland. So last year, of course, Alibaba's promotion, and then 2 very successful TV shows in China, and chose Lapland as a destination. Here, the picture on the right side, you can see these TV shows, some pictures, and on the right side, the top, you can see they tried the sauna, this in icy water, and there's some difference. You know, the Finnish couple at the back, they're almost naked, so they jumped in the water like a Finn. But then the Chinese, they're a little bit afraid of coldness, so they have to dress totally like a full dress. So on top, so this one, you can see. And actually, he is a Taiwanese, and then she is a Korean. So, but probably you think that they are Chinese. So, but the program extremely welcome in China. So the program name is Let's Love. So these 2 are superstars, movie stars, and then they present how Finnish food was eaten. Here in this picture, this is one of the most favorite TV show, and the other TV show is at the end. So here is this called the 12 Cuisine, Mr. Xie's Cuisine, and then they are lucky. This is Mr. Xie. So each of the series have 12 series. So each series they are traveling different places. They see the world, and then traveling, and then making food from the local ingredients. So in this series, I feel that it's extremely important for present the local food. In that series, they present the Lapland ingredients for berries, fishes, because ice fishing. But one thing that was very funny, because he ice fishing, he finally, after 6 or 8 hours of effort, he finally got 1 fish, but he didn't cook that because it's too small. So finally have to buy from the free market or somewhere for the lohi to make the final fish. So that was a funny one. So of course they are lucky to see the polar light. That was the spotlight. So they feel so lucky to see the polar light. And after this TV show, this Lapland become a really exploding place. Everybody wants to come. And then, of course, this many years of efforts development in Lapland, this matured route combination, which is very unique, efficient, relaxing, very fun, and also for many tourists, it's a life experience. Probably only one time they will be in Lapland, they experience a lot of things in one time. So then they feel that the price and quality ratio is very, very high. That's why they come here. And then also, of course, the environment here is very safe, and most of the Lapland people are very friendly. But this world is very mysterious, because talking about a lot about the fairy tales, Santa Claus village, and these things give a lot of space to imagine. And of course, the easy transportation is play a very major role. So thanks to the Finnair, and thanks to the Finnair also direct flight from Helsinki to Rovaniemi. And they are now discussing about the direct flight from Beijing to Rovaniemi. I hope that also is going to happen quite soon. Because Chinese normally live in very intense life, 1.3 billion people. They are very squeezed, very depressed, sometimes they're too busy. So they need a space to think and to relax. So this Lapland gives the best opportunity. Of course, they're emotional. When you see this TV show, why they are so common? Because they see the world, they see the Lapland, the space, and then see there's only two persons in this spacious world. Then they just feel like a romantic. And also the under polar light, you wow, so wow. So that's their life experience, why they come here. Of course, there are also some personal reasons, because some people visiting friends in Helsinki, Tampere, Turku, somewhere. And of course, they, the local friends will ask them, or local relative will ask them, please come to Lapland, because that is very unique. You would never experience somewhere else. So that is a few reasons why they are coming here. So some of the common features of Chinese here, I don't know if I'm right, but you can give a comment. So you might already met many Chinese. For example, they are very high sensitive about the price and quality ratio, including food, accommodation, transport, sightseeing, and route combination. All of them as a package. They consider that as one key factor they consider. So they don't speak a very good English. So that's why the local guides or tour leader are very important. So when you want to communicate with anyone, you have to go through the tour leader or local guides. They are very generous. However, they could be very stingy. So they're willing to pay price for unique products. For example, Kaksi Lautanen, this Arctic hotel. One day they can pay 600, 700 euro for one night with about 10 square meters of a room, which I felt I would never pay such amount of money to one night. And basically they don't have even a shower. For 600 euro to pay that in hotel, no way. But Chinese, they are willing to pay just because of one picture. The picture which is so beautiful, and they felt that I think there was magazine said that, okay, this is the destination. One lifetime you have to be. So then everybody wants to go. Of course, after that, probably they will say, probably this is the worst ever experience. And this is the price that is not worthwhile. Because what I got, the experience that's minus 40 degrees, they have to drag their own luggage from the reception to their hotel room about 500 meters under minus 40 degrees and pay 600 euro for one night, which is not good. And then of course, at the same time, they could be very price sensitive with similar products. So beware, when you have similar products and side by side, for example, husky safari or any kind of safari, you side by side, they will compare the price very carefully. So they don't pay any penny more if you have the same products. And they are proud. They are very loud. So probably everybody you experience. When they're Chinese, they're always voice. So especially in a restaurant, they would never be silent guests. Probably the owner of the restaurant hate Chinese, but at the same time couldn't live without them. But then this is a culture. So if you want to survive in 1.3 billion population, you have to shout it out. So and then when we were young, we were taught to speak loudly, speak clearly in front of others. Instead of here, you always shh. This is the often I can hear in Finland, but in China, you always say, speak loudly. That's why, where we are. They are shy, but the shy is different from Finnish way. They are shy, that's why they are getting together. They don't say too many things in a very public way, and they are very cautious. They are not straightforward, even they are not satisfied with your food, but still say, the food tastes good. But then at the back say, it's awful. So they are proud, they are patriotic, so don't say too many criticism to the Chinese political regime. And they are curious, but safety is a priority. So if you have some kind of extreme sports, don't ask them to come, especially the sauna. If you ask them to be naked, To go to sauna, to experience Finnish sauna, no way. So they will politely say, well, it's interesting, but I cannot go because of some healthy issue, because they are very cautious. And they especially like taking photos and videos. I know that some of you probably feel very annoyed, but this is something unique. Probably Japanese also like. And then the reason why they take photos, because they want to share the experience, because this is probably one life experience. They want to share the experience, sharing the video and the photos in the social media. And what I'm talking about social media is not a Facebook, not a Snapchat, and not the Facebook. It's called a WeChat. It's owned by the Chinese company. It's one of the biggest social media tools in China. And later I will talk about the WeChat. The Chinese are dynamic, but they are very risk averse. So think about the nature tourism. So ask them to walk with you for 1.5 hours, no way. Maybe maximum half kilometer is good. And once I got the complaints about the husky. Half husky safari normally is about 1.5 hours, and for Chinese that is too cold. Maximum is 500 meters. That is good enough. So they are trend follower. What does it supposed to mean? So when they are going somewhere, so you have to show which celebrities they have been. For example, in Santa Claus, behind the Santa Claus, there's one picture. It says Mr. Xi Jinping, our chairman of People's Republic of China, and the Santa Claus picture. Everybody take a picture of that. I have been there with the same Santa Claus as Mr. Xi has been, but everybody knows that has been changed all the time. Santa Claus is not anymore the same. And they are focused on the most, the unique, the difference. The Chinese are very picky. If you want to distinguish your products from others, you have to find the niche things, the most, the unique, the difference, even the ugliest, the stinkings, the most stinking, and everything. So you have to find the most. So otherwise, they are not interested. So who are these Chinese travelers in Lapland? I'm talking about most of the group travelers. Most of them are middle class or upper middle class. They have money. Some are traveling in a business group or a family group. This is called a small group, under 6 people. Most of them are formed in big groups, like 10 to 40. Traveling as a group is always equipped with a tour leader, also sometimes local guides. And tourist leader has big power. Remember, has very big power to decide what to do and what to eat during the free time. And they are traveling around, change places almost every day. So later I will introduce one typical itinerary of the routes for the Chinese who come into the Lapland, how they travel. Most of them have been somewhere else than in Finland, because this is a very expensive trip. So they have been already Western Europe, they have been United States, they have been even South Africa, and the last resort is Finland, or Nordic country, because they have been everywhere else, and this is the last resort. And individual travelers now are increasing. Most of them are young or middle-aged. There are now very few elder people because there are language barriers. And then these people have no problem with language. How they travel? For this group of group travelers, the travel agency organized in China mostly. There's a few big organizers like AliTrip, Sea Travel, Seats, 全景, 中信. So all these wholesalers of travelers, and they collaborate mostly with the Finnish local travel agency. And this local travel agency either owned by Chinese or owned by Finns. Most nowadays mostly owned by Chinese. So there are some individual travelers, but they are fortunately very small right now. They are visiting friends here, relatives. Then mostly they stay in Finland for 2 to 8 days. I'm talking about the tourist, not about the visiting friends stay a long time. They mostly the schedule is very tight. I stay in one city for maximum 2 days, and go to the other Nordic countries very often, like Sweden, Norway, and Iceland. So they can compare the services for the whole Nordic countries. The classic route to Lapland is from Helsinki to Ivalo, Saariserkä, Levi, Luosto, Rovaniemi, Keimi, Helsinki. So 8 days, you can see that, very tight. Average speaking, per day there is sitting in the bus or plane, and then about 2 to 4 hours. So traveling 200 to 400 kilometers per day. So, and then in these routes, they have a 7 chance Finnish breakfast, 6 times Chinese meals, and a 4 Finnish lunch, 5 hotel dinners. So for this group, and it's a very good chance to try many local cuisine, because in Lapland it's very unique. In Helsinki, you have a lot of Chinese restaurants, but in Lapland, you have probably maximum 5 Chinese restaurants. So they have no choice but to join to the local restaurant to taste Finnish food. From Lapland, of course, they want to see Santa Claus, they want to see polar light, and ice, snow, and safaris. And what they want to eat. Probably everybody, maybe not everybody, many of them can feel it. Chinese travelers often prefer Chinese food when they travel. It's a joke, but it's not a joke. And then because the Chinese feel this is very cost efficient, and they're familiar with the taste. And especially it's cheap. That is probably everybody knows the Chinese restaurant is much cheaper than the normal Finnish restaurants. And of course, occasionally local food is something extra, something bonus, but not every day. If you ask the tourists coming to Finland to eat everyday Finnish food or Western food, they are going crazy. At the end, no matter how good the trip it is, you are going to get a complaint. So it doesn't apply as much as to the independent travelers. The youngsters, they get used to Western food, but then in middle age or over middle age, they would prefer Chinese food. For these individual travelers, the young people, eating food is not only about tasting new cuisines, but it's also they can share the experience with the peers back home. We call this group of people a 吃货. And in English means foodies. So they concentrate on eating different cuisines in different countries. So with the help of the smartphone, again, WeChat, the pictures can share with everyone back home. That is very important. So because of this, they normally order 3 meals. So favorite branded products when they eat, and they will suggest people, okay, this product is really good, tastes really nice. They will photo it, and then many of Chinese could ask the friends or local guys, and then Chinese, they call it Daigou. It means Chinese living in Finland for a long time or for overseas countries for a long time. They buy the stuff from the local market and mail it back to China. That's what we call the Daigou. All from Taobao. Taobao is also #1 internet shop owned by Alibaba. So there are some people or some shop, and then they are selling the Finnish products. And then I think that Esaron also now is going to collaborate with Alibaba. It's the same idea. And what Chinese like about the Finnish food? Of course, there are many people before me already introduced. Natural, organic, healthy, clean, safe, seasonal, and wild. This is also very important. And then they wish to get what this picture shows. I mean, this is picture that is some of the picture I got from Finnish business class. And I always enjoy it in business class. So this presentation of food is really see, smell, and taste good. And like Nordic style of the best presentation of Nordic food. So this is what the Chinese like about the Finnish food. What they dislike is this. A lack of varieties. When they travel to Lapland, even from Helsinki, if they were suggested to eat Finnish food, they always asked to eat reindeer meat with a mashed potato or sausage. So it's provided everywhere. And you can see the presentation of this mashed potato with the reindeer meat. It's awful. Even for Finns, it's not really pleasant meal. And then for Chinese, one time is okay. The second time, they feel, okay, it's all about the Finnish food. So then the second one is the food presentation is not attractive. I think that many of, this is not fully true, but then there are so many cases that this is This is the fact. Because Chinese consider food, good food, with 3 elements. Number 1 is color, so how it looks. And the second one is the flavor, how it smells. The third one is the taste. So the taste goes to last. The how it looks goes to first. And then some of them complain about too creamy, because there are a lot of dairy things in the cuisine. And most of Chinese are intolerant to the dairy products. And after the meal, they feel like, okay, I fall all the time, I feel stomach ache and all these kind of things. All these complaints. And also the drinks. The drinks almost in Finland, most of the times, you drinks served with a meal are cold. Normally it's water. So of course we are proud of refreshing water. But for Chinese, that is not good. Because many Chinese want to have a hot drinks, tea or hot water during the meal. So there is a complaint all the time. So why we go to the restaurant, you cannot offer the hot drinks, especially the hot water. So because every time the guys always have to ask the owners or the waitress to bring the hot drinks, and they always bring a very small amount of like a glasses or this coffee cup, this the water, the hot water. But then actually the fact is that it's better to bring a really big jar of hot water, so everybody's happy. And then the other thing is about the bread. For example, what we are proud of, this Louis-Leiba, too hard to throw. One joke about this, because one old guy, didn't know how to eat this one and tried to throw it, and couldn't throw it, but then his teeth was broken. And complained to the travel agency that what kind of food you provided. So you have to pay the insurance for my tea reparation. And then of course the last one is the lack of spices, because here the many food presentation is very primary and then not too many spices. And then if some Chinese tourists want to bring some Chinese spice, please let them do, because for that they wouldn't complain anymore. And something bearing in mind when you're serving to the Chinese guests, there are something which is small things but very important. First of all, package and appearance is step 1 for the success. How it looks, and I think the ESA has been already, and also many previous presenters already said package is very important for Chinese and Asians. So it doesn't look, it doesn't taste good either. So that's how Chinese feel. Hot water, number 2. So you have to be prepared in every restaurant and then also the hotel. And then third, the medium roll, especially when you serve, for example, the steak, different kind of steak. The medium roll means different with a different age group of people. Medium roll means completely raw, basically well done for older people in China. And the medium roll means medium roll for the younger generation. So that's you need to ask repeatedly for the tourists, because many tourists complain there is still blood coming when they ask medium roll, of course. And silence for Chinese is not good. Because I know that Finland appreciates silence very much, but in China, the silence means unpolite. If you don't say any words for the Chinese guests, not good. And then patience for Chinese is something that Chinese don't have. So the survey has to be quick and has to be punctual, because they are not really patient people. And then because also the tight schedule, they only have 30 minutes to eat lunch. So if your waiting time 30 minutes, so everything has to delay. So then you have to be aware of that. And the menu design in the restaurant or anywhere, so with a picture would be really nice, and then is preferred. And of course, anything goes wrong, something misunderstanding whatsoever, please contact the local guides or tour leader. They will handle for you. And then that's why working closely with them is the key issues. And WeChat, if you want to have your products to market to the individual customers, and please download the WeChat. It's very easy. And just go for this Android system on this market and type WeChat WECHAT. So then you will find it. And download this, they have an English version. And you can communicate with also guides and tour leader directly. If anything happens, anything wrong, so you can chat to each other. And you can send also the pictures, your product's introduction through this app. Then they can even market for you. Next time maybe they will buy the products, rebuy the products from you. That's why I repeatedly say, working closely with the local guide and tourist agency, and then they will bring you much more benefits than just tourism industry. They can bring a lot of feedback for the food industry, forestry industry, and fashion and sports. And then of course, you have to give an incentive for these local guides and the tour leader. Many people are not comfortable with that. But think about, you have extra salesperson. You have to pay the salary to them. So give proper incentive, commission system, and long-term relationship. When they come to Lapland and when they go back to China, they could be best potential customers for Finnish products. As that he introduced in the morning, I couldn't agree more. When the people, foreigners, have never been in Finland, they feel strange about the Finnish food. Probably Finnish food doesn't have a too good image because they were elected most least delicious food in the whole Europe, except for English food. Probably that was in the newspaper. Many people still remember that. So, but when they have come to Finland, has been in Finland, but then they have a good image about the Finnish food and then of Finland. And also these people are the people who can afford Finnish premium food. And they impress what they have seen, what they have done, also what they have eaten. And they can produce the first feedback for the marketing purposes, especially what they dislike. Probably you shouldn't even do it. And if they don't like it, and back home in China, nobody like it. And so how to utilize these visitors for our product development, service development, can be also pay more attention in the future. So some suggestions for Lapland. And for example, the reindeer is one of the things that in Lapland often served. And we were kind of thinking that why we only see the reindeer fillet and reindeer meat, where are the other parts? For example, tongues, hearts, livers, they are all delicious. In China, reindeer is considered as a whole body as a treasure, so nothing is waste. So where are they? And then in Lapland, we couldn't find any special local food shop. What I mean is not a K market, not S market, but specialized local food shop. So where we can see all this super Arctic food. And then night foodie market during the high season can be considered because many people, especially guys, complain after 5 o'clock, Rovaniemi is dead. So because of Santa Claus village is closed at 5, so there's nowhere to go except for bar. And Chinese don't drink too much in the bar. So there's nothing to do. And there are so many good things, about the food in the Arctic food. So why not during the high season build up some kind of a foodie market? And then, for example, also this ravintolapäivät in Helsinki, and also could be more frequent in Rovaniemi between November and January. And the other question is about the driving license. We want to attract a lot of individual travelers to Lapland. In Lapland, you cannot survive without a car. And they want to travel one place to the other place. But then there's a big problem. The driving license for Chinese, and if they have a Chinese driving license, but still they cannot drive in Finland. But they can drive in Sweden, they can drive in Denmark, they can drive in Norway. Not in Finland. There's no reason. And then is there any solution for that? And then if that is the case, you can bring much more individual travelers to Finland. Of course, the other question is about the public transportation to Santa Claus village. And now they have less frequent this public transportation to Santa Claus. That is the kind of suggestion I collected from some guides. Okay, this is my presentation. And please ask questions and then let's discuss. Actually, from my point of view, there is a lot of categories they buy. Of course, most important, they buy luxury stuff. The more expensive, the better. The cheap stuff, of course, they don't mention anymore. Like ice cream, all these things, they don't even count. And why they spend so much, they buy very expensive stuff like over 1,000 euro for one piece or something like that. So they buy everything. So, but then the products has to be unique. You have the storyline behind it. Otherwise, you have to have the big brands, the luxury brands, like Marimekko and Iittala, all these things. But otherwise, like a local superfood things, they will buy as well. But then you have to tell the story. That's why the guides is very important. So if you have a shop like this, superfood shop and only local food, and actually the guides can bring all the tourists coming to the shop and they're shopping all these things. And in the bus, they will give a full introduction about this, how do this food and how this built and what is the brand and behind the brand. They will tell everything. So they do the salesperson's job. But then, of course, at the same time, they want to have some incentive. When they visit the shop, they buy something. You give a 5%, for example, 5% of the commission. That's fine. So that was the way how it works. Thank you for the question.
Okay, then I go.
Yeah.
First, thank you very much for your very inspiring presentation. I'm sure we all learned a lot. But I have more, how should I say, general question.
Yeah.
How or does Finland differ from Sweden? From the viewpoint of Chinese?
Yes, they do. They do. Of course, as many people already mentioned, the branding products, I think Sweden has been very small successful. Finland has not been very successful in consumer products. But of course, still, Finland considered as one of the, I think, better tourism during the winter time, especially. Lapland has done a great job. So the competitor, that would say that competitors, direct competitor for Lapland is only Tromsø in Norway. And then since Sweden is not any more competitive with the Finland. And later on may become a Russian market because they are too cheap.
Alatalo Matti Tervolasta. I would like to ask, do you think that the investments from the China to Lapland will increase in the future, and how much? And do you think it's a threat if too many Chinese are coming to Lapland compared to like English or German tourists?
Excellent question. This is everybody in any kind of a city, tourism city, they would like to ask the same question because Chinese population 1/5 of the whole world, so you cannot avoid it. The Chinese tourists coming to one place, and of course it depends on the authority and then also the organization or the cities to decide how to optimize the allocation, so resource allocation, and to attract more people rather than only Chinese, and how to categorize these Chinese tourists. Instead of getting everybody here, you should get the most high quality, the highest quality tourists here to Lapland, because this resource is very unique. It's not everywhere, but this is the only Lapland. So very good question. I think that you deserve better tourist, high quality tourist than normal group, cheap tourist group. But then in return, investment is necessary, and also not only commercialized, you have to bring a lot of culture things behind it. Like Rovaniemi, this is a Santa Claus village. There are a lot of complaints about the Santa Claus village because it's becoming commercial center. It's not anymore culture center. And there's no whatsoever presentation about the culture of Lapland. For example, Sami culture was not presented there. There's nothing for the children. There's only one picture for 40 euros for taking picture with Santa Claus. That is too much. And then after that, there's nothing. And then all the shops selling the similar stuff, which is not good. You can buy very cheaply from China.